everyone, so just jumping into this quick tutorial, this is going to be about long division without any remainders. So this suggests that the number is perfectly divisible by the other number. So just looking to go over some terms, in the description I'll put a timestamp if you're wanting to skip over this part. So what we have here is a division line, division bar, there are a lot of different names for it. Within this bar is where the division process will occur. In this situation, the verbal way to say this would be 1,952 divided by 8 equals 244. I know a lot of people prefer to see it in writing in the other form with the more common division symbol, so here it is for easier visualization. Same thing, 1,952 divided by 8 equals exactly 244. In other words, this can also be said as how many times does 8 fit into 1,952, and the answer to that question would be 244 times. Regarding specific terms, the usually larger number is called the dividend. This is the number that will be divided by the other number. Next, we have the divisor, which is the other number that divides into the first number. And finally, you have the quotient, which is the result of dividing one number by another. Sometimes you'll have a remainder, which is any numbers that are left over, but in this case, 1,952 is perfectly divisible by 8, so there is no remainder. I'll post another video afterwards that has a remainder included in it, so you know how to do it in case you come across it, and the link will be in the description once the video is up. Alright, so let's start on the actual division process. So we're looking to divide 1,952 by 8, meaning that we're attempting to figure out how many times 8 can fit into 1,952. But we're going to break it down. I was taught long division in a kind of funny way that helped force it into my mind forever. My teacher used a family to help illustrate the order of procedures, starting with dad, and then the mom, and then the sister, and then the brother. So since we're starting with dad, dad divides. We're going to look at the first number. How many times does 8 fit into the first number? So how many times does 8 fit into 1? Well, 8 is obviously larger than 1, so it cannot go into 1 at all. So we'll move on to the next number. Now you have to ask yourself, how many times does 8 go into 19? So if you know your multiplication tables, you know that 8 can only fit into 19 2 times before it goes over, so the answer is 2. So you can put a 2 on top of the 19. After dad, mom is the next step, and mom multiplies. So you have to multiply the value you just obtained by the divisor. So 8 times 2 is 16, and you write this value below the 19. After mom, sister is next, and sister subtracts. So here we're going to be subtracting 19 by 16, and we get 3, which we can just write just below the 16. As you may have noticed, the next step always deals with the number you most recently obtained. So we're going to move on to the brother and bring down the next value within the dividend beside the newly obtained 3. With this, we get 35. And we're finished with the brother and moving back up to the dad. This means that we have to divide again, since dad divides. Since we brought down the 5 from the dividend, we're going to use this value to divide with instead of the original value. This means that we're dividing 35 by 8, which equals 4, since 8 goes into 35 4 times without going over. Continuing down the pathway, we have to let mom multiply. So we multiply 4 times 8 to get 32, and we have to write 32 below the 35. Sister subtracting is next, where we subtract 35 by 32 to get 3. And finally, brother again, so brother brings down, and we bring down the 2 from the original dividend. Since we still have numbers left to deal with, we have to keep going through the pathway. So back to dividing with dad. 32 divided by 8 is 4, and we write that up above. Then comes multiplying, so 4 times 8 is 32, and that goes below the previous 32 that we obtained. And then sister subtracting, so that gives us 0. So finally, we can say that 1,952 divided by 8 is equal to 244 with no remainders. Now all we have to do is put our therefore statement and we are all done. Thanks for watching.